Welcome to your Flame Fundamentals training. In this video, you'll learn one way of layering multiple video tracks in the sequence. This can be used for basic compositing or building creative combinations with multiple elements. So you'll cover the basics of compositing two layers together, getting a layer into position with the 2D Transform TimelineFX, and perform the final blending with the Comp TimelineFX. To illustrate layering using the Comp TimelineFX, you will use the static shot of a computer screen and this access denied element, which is imported from the examples folder. So you will layer the graphic element and build it into the screen. You should also see a resized TimelineFX in the TimelineFX pipeline, because this element had a different resolution to the sequence. This should not be a problem since the resize mode is center crop. Now when you composite one video track on top of another, you need to enable the Comp TimelineFX at the end of the TimelineFX pipeline. Simply click on the LED to turn it on. Initially, you won't see anything, as this segment has no alpha or transparency channel. If this was a multi-channel clip with an alpha channel, it will automatically key over the background, and you can set the pre-multiplication of the segment to remove any edge artifacts if required. Since this segment has no alpha, making the segment transparent will display the background. If the Comp TimelineFX was not enabled, you would just see this segment and nothing beneath it. So this should be on for any sequence layering. The only exception is if you use the Action TimelineFX, which is capable of compositing without the need of the Comp TimelineFX. This will be discussed in a later video. To move this video into position, click the Effects button and add a 2D Transform TimelineFX to the segment. This TimelineFX lets you perform basic transformations to the selected segment. For example, you can scale it down slightly, and now you'll start seeing the background. As a reminder, if the Comp TimelineFX was off, you will still be able to apply effects to the segment, but you won't see anything underneath it. To position the graphic, you could use the Effects ribbon controls, but switch to the Effects environment or double-click on the 2D Transform TimelineFX to access the full toolset. If you don't see the result of the sequence in the viewer, change the viewing options to Primary Track. Now adjust the graphic using either the on-screen icon or slider and get it into position on top of the screen. There are plenty of controls you can explore in your own time, but this should be fine for this example. Now in terms of blending the graphic over the screen, you have a couple of different creative choices. It is possible to add a Gmask tracer TimelineFX and cut around the edges of the screen. However, a better technique is to use the blend modes of the Comp TimelineFX. Essentially, you have a variety of options since the graphic is on a black background. Switching the blend mode to screen will remove the black regions. I prefer to use the Add Blend mode in this case because the highlights are intensified and the reflective glare looks more realistic. Finally, you can adjust the segment's transparency, which will make the graphic more believable in the screen. Returning to the timeline view, you can review the shot in the context of the edit. Please move on to the next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the Flame Learning channel. Thanks for watching.